Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you're doing well. So, I welcome you again to your English class. And today we'll do chapter number 9 of Supplementary Reader book. And the name of the chapter is What Happened to the Reptiles, written by Zai Whitaker. So, before reading this chapter, I would like to ask you a few questions. Do you know the meaning of the word reptiles? Or can you name some of the reptiles? Yes, we all know that lizards, crocodiles, tortoises, they all are reptiles. And yes, reptiles are a group of cold blooded animals which have skins covered with small hard plates called scales and they lay eggs. Actually, this is a story of a village named Pambupati where there were lots of reptiles. This story tells us that how those reptiles used to live peacefully with each other. And this story was narrated by a person named Prem. So let's start reading this interesting story. I'll explain this story in two parts. This is the part 1 of the story and stay tuned for part 2. So look at the first paragraph. You may not believe this story, but I can tell you it is true because I have been to Pambupati, a village on the edge of the jungle. It is on a cliff and the vast forest stretches below like a mossy green carpet. There are many kinds of people in the village dark, fair, tall, short. They speak many languages. Some eat meat, some don't. Some pray in a small temple at the edge of the forest. Others pray in a mosque some miles away. So, here in this paragraph, the word edge means border, the word cliff means a high area of rock with a steep side, often on a coast. The word vast means extremely big. The word stretches means to spread over a large area or distance. And the word mossy means covered with moss. Now, what is a moss? A moss is a small plant that grows in wet places. So, the narrator tells us that we may not believe this story, but it is true. He had been to a village named Pambupati, which was on the border of the jungle. And that village was on a cliff, means it was on a high area of rock, and the huge forest spread out like a mossy green carpet below that cliff. Alright. Different kinds of people lived in Pambupati. Some were having a dark complexion, whereas others were fair. Some were tall, whereas others were short. They spoke many languages. Some ate meat, some did not. Some prayed in a small temple which was at the border of the forest, whereas others prayed in a mosque which was miles away. So it means that different kinds of people they were living peacefully in that small village called Pambupati. Now look at the next paragraph. My name is Prem and I live many hundred miles away from Pambupati. I had heard about the village but I had never been there. Then last year something terrible happened. The people of my own village went mad. Far, far away in a place they have never even been to, a temple or mosque had been burnt down and they went mad. They started fighting with one another. Some had to run away in the middle of the night, and at 3 in the morning, as I lay in my house, half awake to the sounds of hate and violence, there was a fire. Many houses were burnt down in the fire. One of them was mine. So, here in this paragraph, the word terrible means extremely bad or serious, and the word violence means actions or words that are intended to hurt people. So the narrator tells us that he used to live far away from Pambupati. He had heard about that village Pambupati, but he had never been there. Then last year something very bad happened. The people of his village went mad. They burnt temples and mosques. Everyone started fighting with each other. Some had to run away in the middle of the night. And at 3 in the morning, as the narrator Prem was lying in his house, he heard the sounds of hate and violence. Actually, there was a fire. Many houses were burned down in that fire, and one of those houses was of the narrator. Look at the next paragraph. I managed to grab a few clothes, some coins, my little Ganesh statue, and I ran. I ran for a day and a night, resting whenever my legs would not carry me any further. I jumped onto a train, then on a bus. No tickets. Never mind. Everyone seemed to be running. Finally, I found myself in Pambupati, and I saw some villagers gathered near a well. I ran to them, and before I could say a thing, I fainted. So, here in this paragraph, the word managed means succeeded in doing or dealing with something, especially something difficult. The word grab means to take hold of something or someone, suddenly and roughly. The word statue means an object made from a hard material, especially stone or metal, to look like a person or animal. The word further means to a greater distance. The word gathered means came together. And the word fainted means became unconscious for a short time, usually falling down. So the narrator succeeded in taking few of his clothes, some coins, and his little Ganesh statue and ran throughout a day and a night. He took rest whenever his legs would not carry him any further, means whenever he was tired, he took some rest. He travelled in a train, then in a bus, and that also without tickets. And finally, he reached Pambupati and saw some villagers gathered near a well. He ran to them, and before he could say a thing, he fainted. He became unconscious. Now, look at the next paragraph. When I opened my eyes, I saw an old man with white hair, white beard, and shining black eyes bending over me. For the next few days, he looked after me, putting food in my mouth and bringing me sweet, cool water from the stream. He rubbed my feet gently and made the pain go away. Neighbors, strangers, everyone came to visit me. So, here in this paragraph, the word bending means leaning or moving the top part of your body downwards. The word stream means a small narrow river, and the word gently means softly. So, when the narrator gained back his consciousness, he saw an old man leaning over him. He had white hair, white beard, and shining black eyes. And for the next few days, that old man took care of the narrator. He used to put food in his mouth, and he also used to bring sweet, cool water from the stream. The old man rubbed the narrator's feet softly and made him free from pain. Everyone came to visit him, neighbors as well as strangers. Tell me, grandfather, I said to him one day, I have never seen people like the villagers here. In my village, people fight with those who pray to another god. But here, this seems a very strange place. Here in this paragraph, the word strange means unusual and unexpected or difficult to understand. So the narrator asked the old man to tell him about that place as it seemed very strange to him. He had seen people in his village fighting with each other in the name of religion, but that place was very strange. It was very unusual. So the narrator was very curious. He was very eager to know about that place. Prem, replied the old man, I will tell you the story of Pambupati. You can take this story back to your village. Maybe it will heal some of its wounds and dry some of its sores. So here in this paragraph, the word heal means to make or become well again, especially after a cut or other injury. The word wound means a damaged area of the body, such as a cut or hole in the skin made by a weapon. And the word sores means a painful area on the surface of a body, especially an infected area. So the old man assured the narrator that he would tell him the story of Pambupati. And he asked the narrator to take that story back to his village, hoping that it would heal the wounds of the people of that place. Look at the next paragraph. Oh, grandfather, I said anxiously, don't say that. What I have seen in my village makes me burn with shame. I never want to go back there. But that's exactly why you must go back, he said in a soft voice. I kept quiet. I didn't want to argue with him, and I wanted to hear his story. In this paragraph, the word anxiously means nervously. So the narrator spoke with anxiety and asked the old man not to ask him to return to that village. Actually, what he had seen in his village made him burnt with shame. Actually, the fight that he saw in his village over religion, he felt very shameful for that, and he never wanted to go back there. But that old man wanted that the narrator must go back to his village and he must narrate that story to the villagers. And the narrator did not want to argue with the old man and he wanted to hear his story. Now look at the next paragraph. It happened a long, long time ago, he began. So long ago, then there were no schools and no teachers. Children lived in caves with their parents and helped them to collect fruit and berries from the forest. At that time, there were no tigers or panthers or elephants in Pambupati forest. There were only reptiles, many kinds of reptiles. Now you know what reptiles are? Snakes, crocodiles, turtles, lizards. And you know that a reptile has scales on its body and it lays eggs. Every month, the reptiles of Pambupati had a big meeting. So the old man told the narrator that during olden times there were no schools and no teachers. Children used to live in caves with their parents and they used to help them to collect fruit and berries from the forest. At that time there were no animals, there were no tigers or panthers or elephants. There were only reptiles, many kinds of reptiles. The old man told the narrator about the reptiles, and he told the narrator that every month the reptiles of Pambupati had a big meeting. Everyone came, the pretty excited snakes, the slow thoughtful tortoises, the clever quick lizards, and the moody crocodiles, grumpy because they were out of water. The president of these meetings was Makara, the biggest crocodile of the forest. All the animals thought he was very important. When someone is strong and powerful, you know it is difficult not to go along with what he says or does. Here, the word grumpy means bad tempered, and everyone came for the meeting. Snakes, tortoises, lizards, and crocodiles. Crocodiles were grumpy. Grumpy means bad tempered because they were out of water. And the president of all these meetings was Makara, the biggest crocodile of the forest. And all the animals thought Makara was very important and they had to follow his orders. Now look at the next paragraph. Now one day a strange thing happened. It was a week before one of the monthly meetings. Makara sent a letter to the tortoises asking them not to come to the meeting. Ahiste, the big old star tortoise with black and yellow pictures on his shell, was very angry. What does this mean? He shouted. How dare they? But not one of the tortoises had the courage to attend the meeting. They were so few, the others so many. Here in this paragraph, the word dare means to be brave enough to do something difficult or dangerous. Now, one day a very strange thing happened. Actually, Makara sent a letter to the tortoises and asked them not to come to the meeting. Now, Ahiste, the big old star tortoise, he became very angry after reading that letter. He shouted and asked how could Makara ask them not to come for the meeting. But no one had the courage to attend the meeting because they were very few in number. Now look at the next paragraph. Before the meeting, the giant Makara polished his teeth with the red flowers of the tree by the river till they sparkled. Everyone was waiting for him at the meeting place. Here in this paragraph, the word giant means very big and the word sparkled means shone. So before the meeting, the giant Makara polished his teeth with the red flowers of the tree by the riverside till they started sparkling. Actually, everyone was waiting for him at the meeting place. Look at the next paragraph. Brothers and sisters, he began. All the reptiles, even the beautiful king cobras, stopped talking. Makara continued his speech. I have decided that we don't need the tortoises. I have told them not to come today. Brothers and sisters, can you tell me why we don't like the tortoises? So finally, Makara started the meeting by calling them all brothers and sisters. everyone, all the reptiles, stopped talking, even the beautiful king cobras. Makara said that he had decided that they did not need the tortoises, and he told them that he had told the tortoises not to come today for the meeting. And besides this, even he asked everyone if they knew why they did not like the tortoises. Now look at the next paragraph. The reptiles looked this way and that. They felt very uncomfortable. The snakes hissed anxiously. The lizards wriggled their tails. The crocodiles opened their jaws even wider. But, said one little lizard. No buts, shouted Makara. There was silence. I think, said a baby crocodile. No, I thinks, screamed Makara, so loudly that the fruit in the tree above him rained down. After that, no one had the courage to speak. So here the word hissed means made a noise like a long S sound. The word wriggled means twisted the body or moved part of the body with small quick movements. And the word screamed means made a loud, high-pitched sound. So after hearing the question of Makara, the reptiles looked here and there as they were feeling very uncomfortable. They started making movements. The snakes hissed, the lizard moved their tails, and the crocodiles opened their jaws even wider. The little lizard started to speak with but. Makar shouted, no buts, and everyone became silent. After that, a baby crocodile started to speak with I think. Then also Makara screamed, he shouted that no I thinks. And can you imagine that he shouted so loudly that the fruit in the tree above him fell down? And after that, no one had the courage to speak. Now look at the next paragraph. Makara cleared his throat and showed a few more teeth. Well, he said, I will tell you why we don't like the tortoises. They are so slow, so stupid. They even carry their houses on their backs. Who ever heard of such a stupid thing? Now you lizards, you live in trees. Would you ever carry a tree on your back? Would you? Small frightened voices answered together. No, we wouldn't. But... So this paragraph tells us that Makara cleared his throat and told everyone the reason why they did not like the tortoises. He told everyone that they were so slow and stupid, and they even carry their houses on their backs. He even asked lizards if they would ever carry their home, that is tree, on their backs. The lizards answered in a fearful voice, no, and tried to speak further by saying but. Now look at the next paragraph. No buts. Now listen. I have told the tortoises that they will have to move out of Pambupati. When they go, we will have more of everything. More food, more water, more space. I want them out by tomorrow, but because they are such slow coaches, I have given them 1 week. By next Tuesday, we won't have a single tortoise left in the jungle. So Makara again shouted no buts and everyone became silent. He informed them that he had told the tortoises to leave Pambupati, and once they leave, all the reptiles who are left in the jungle would have more of everything, be it water, food or space. Actually, he wanted them to leave the very next day, but because they were very slow, he gave them 1 week's time and he called them slow coaches. The word slow coach means someone who moves very slowly. We all know that tortoises move very slowly, that's why Makara called them slow coaches. So we'll read this much only for today and we'll continue with this chapter in the part 2 of this video. So in the part 2, we'll get to know whether the tortoises actually left the jungle or not. So till then, take care all of you, and one more thing, if you're finding my videos useful, don't forget to subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon to get the notifications of my latest videos. Thank you so much.